All right, we're live.
All right, hi everybody. Happy Friday.
Woohoo.
God, what a week.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We got,
It's
yeah.
it's been such a busy time. Yeah, we were at Vision Expo West. We got back. When did we get back? Sunday morning. And my husband and I have been scrambling to finish up this French draining project. And then was in the office for part or most of a day, headed back out of town to see my kiddo down in California at college for a couple of days, and then back here and squeezing it all in before we head off to Academy. Well, Aiden's been here holding down the fort and getting a ton done.
Yeah. Made some good progress. Um, I thought I would talk, I don't know if I put it on the notes here, about just the support groups that are happening. We have one this afternoon at 3 p.m. Working on getting Cindy, our admin assistant, kind of getting all the boxes checked before and after the meetings, which will be a nice kind of burden taken off our shoulders. And great to just be able to follow up with people in our new software and kind of maybe get more people coming and registering to events. But I had a surprise this week with my millennials group. I had one person registered, uh, you know, before I left the office, and I was going to start the meeting at home. Started the meeting. One person was registered. Um, and it's always kind of a toss up, is that person even going to show up? But they were there, and then two people joined during the meeting, and we had a really nice discussion. I'm glad that we have the millennials thing going, because that there's different issues at play for younger people than
Yeah,
kind of the typical topics that we talk about like today at 3. So that was interesting. Yeah, just talking about chronic and progressive disease and dealing with, yeah.
I I hate that language
Yeah,
for so
yeah,
many reasons, but
yeah.
I hate it 10 times more for young people.
Hmm.
It's just it creates this thought and expectation of a trajectory that is not right. It's not true. It's not what I mean. It just gets this thing in your head of, okay, what I am experiencing now is going to go on and it's going to get worse. That's even if, whoops, sorry, disable my thing here. Even if, sorry, Aiden, give me just a second
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I just screwed something up on my computer. That's, I was going to say, even if a disease progresses, it doesn't necessarily mean that the life impact of the thing is going to be the same and get worse. There's a course things run, and we find the things that we need in our new strategies, and we find our way to the detailed diagnosis we need and the treatments we need, and we get on a different track, and our experience of the
Yeah,
disease is
love
different,
that.
even in those worst case situations where the disease itself does progress. But it drives me nuts to have this generalization that dry eye disease is chronic and progressive, because dry eye disease, we know it's this great big bucket of all kinds of different diseases and conditions that are just piled under the same name, and they do not have the same nature. They do not have the same trajectory. Honestly, getting a path out of dry eye hell just so often really starts with a detailed diagnosis. That changes the language. Anyway, go
Yeah,
on. You were talking
yeah.
about support groups, and I started.
That's okay.
Uh,
No, we kind of newbies and oldies in the group, and yeah, always like those mix of perspectives from people who've been through uh sort of our helpline program and stuff before, and we've seen them at different stages, so that was nice. Just to get people talking. The group really clicked, which is something you can never plan for, but it's always a real relief when that happens. What was I going to say too? Um, I just loved how they were sharing anecdotes about speaking up with friends. Hey, my eyes are bothering me. Can we switch tables at the restaurant, or can you keep an eye out? And maybe I won't say anything, but I'll look uncomfortable. Or can we stop at the store and get some eye drops? I mean, young people my age, are getting good at that. It's not always hard to advocate for yourself, but that was one of my favorite parts. It's just, yeah, knowing that it's okay to speak up and, you know, trusting your friends will
Yeah.
accommodate and not even think anything of it. So yeah, speaking up is hard, especially, you know, when you're under 40 dealing with dry eye. I mean, it's just, yeah.
I remember having some conversations on exactly that with someone on the helpline earlier this year, series of conversations really, and just the reluctance to engage anyone in the friend group about it. And then the discovery that actually it was okay
Yeah,
to
right.
talk about it, and without the fear that they're going to be judged for whining too much or whatever, but just, speak it up and saying, yeah, I have this need, I have this constraint, and having that be okay. I love that.
Yeah, taking the first step. Anyways, I think I probably just hijacked the agenda here,
That's
but
awesome.
it was on my mind.
Mm.
Yeah. All right. Last week, Vision
Ah,
Expo West. If you've been keeping up with our other biologic eye drop site, you know how eventful it was. Maybe we can save some of the ire for a little bit later. We
yeah,
did some real good work outside of Regenerize. Yeah.
we did lots. I Regenerize hijacked too much of our time during that meeting, but we were there for 3 whole days, so we were able to get lots of other things done. And by the way, I'm in the process of making a well, never mind. We'll just move on. So about another video, but never mind. So yeah, let's see. So it was that the scope thing was that first evening, wasn't it?
Yeah. So Scope, yeah, they're just a really reputable dry eye company. They have a preservative-free product line that I kind of put together when I was looking at the presentation at their booth. But 2 doctors talked about, what was it? It was tea tree, it was vitamin A, it was sodium hyaluronate, just like the scientific actions of these different ingredients that I never quite realized before. I know people have asked, hey, what does sodium hyaluronate do? And kind of had to admit I didn't really know. So just hearing at a higher level what the different products are doing, that was interesting. And we'll be sending a link too when we have a recording of that event, because I think patients, yeah, definitely
It's really good.
yeah.
Remind me, I'll put a link in the newsletter. They just addressed a lot of topics where it's just a lot of kind of glossing over and generalizing that goes on medical things, right? And sometimes when you get down in the details, the conventional wisdom or the news that you hear, sometimes the reality may be completely different. So one of the things, for example, that they talked about was the whole thing about tea tree oil. We get these trends where like one study comes out and all of a sudden a thing that everybody's been using for 20 years is the bad guy. And sometimes we have to look at more of the details of the science to see, is that really true, and under what circumstances, and what did that study really say,
Yeah.
and all of that. So it's really fun to have them get into all that.
Yeah, one of the doctors was Dr. Laura Perryman, and she's just like, I couldn't help but smiling listening to her give explanations of the studies and the ingredients and everything. For that one on tea tree, wasn't she saying like the study was in vitro, just bathing meibomian glands in tea tree oil for hours?
Right. It was basically with hyper exposure to tea tree
Yeah.
oil in a way that you just wouldn't do day to day. So I had got a mental note to myself to go look up that study
Yeah.
finally and read that properly. So yeah, we'll get the video out there. Oh shoot, there was one other thing I was going to say about that, and it left my mind. Oh well. Oh, I know what it was. When you said something about preservative free earlier, I just wanted to clarify. What you were talking about was that their entire product line at Scope is preservative free. And that was what was clicking. That was like, oh yeah, there isn't anything with preservatives. And on the US dry eye market, that's not normal or common to find. We talked a little bit about how Teva Pharmaceutical, who have the new Evisia line in the US that they've kind of brought in and modified a little bit for the US market from Europe, similar, all preservative free.
Yeah.
We like preservative free companies.
Absolutely. It just makes it easier. You know, the only risk is maybe that the product won't work out for you, but you're not going to grab a bottle of preserved drops, right? If the doctor says Optase or Scope. So
Yeah.
That's encouraging. Yeah, let's see. What else from?
Oh, we finally, so still on Expo. Yeah. What else? We had a lot of good conversations, talked with both pharmaceutical and device companies. One of my tasks there, and it brought back a lot of good materials for this, was for our helpline and also just more generally for the website. We've been wanting to put together, it's a project on the kind of to-do list for way too long, to put together some compact financial resource information for people about dry eye treatment specifically. So for every approved dry eye drug manufacturer, for example, any relevant manufacturer links, the information that you need or programs for the doctor, any way that you can get the lowest copays for those who are insured, any information that's available on Medicare coverage, and then any links or application forms for patient assistance programs too, and just have those easy for people to find. I had another conversation today with a new dry eye friend, and we had talked a few weeks ago about, in the course of her dry eye journey, kind of at the beginning, one of the triggers that made things really hard initially was not having the information needed after being prescribed a drug. There's just so many things that she wished she had known, both about how to pay for it and, tips and tricks for using it. Things like, buffering with using a tier of 15 minutes beforehand or things like that. So that really just kind of fired me up on wanting to get this done and out there and available. When I was visiting, I think it was Novartis's booth, and they were kind of walking me through things they have on their site and the way that you apply for different things. I looked at their requirements for patient assistance, and it was like,
Right.
I mean, the income stuff. I mean, sometimes you hear patient assistance and you assume this means, bare bones poverty, I won't qualify. But their thresholds were like, gives me it's $75,000 a year income for a single adult and $100,000 for a couple. So there can sometimes be more out there that can help than we're aware of.
Yeah. Let's see what else I was going to say. I think on the list too, for sooner rather than later, is prospectus for the helpline, getting kind of industry sponsors for that.
Yeah.
I think, that slipped my mind until this conversation. Yeah. So we did approach at least one company about just our kind of funding needs for the helpline. And yeah, big part of attending the conferences too is to make those connections.
That'll be a much bigger focus at Academy, where we go. I had hoped and planned to do more at Expo, but yeah, like I said, some of our agenda got a little bit hijacked, but we'll have lots of time also at Academy.
Yeah. Let's see. You want to talk about GuideStar? And I'm going to grab my little proof of the brochure here. Oh.
Right. We had to get an extension on our, our annual tax filing, our 990 form this year, because it just happened to be due at a really busy time. So of course we put it off until the next deadline, but we finally got it filed. And in the past, we're a small outfit. We just this year is the first time we had paid staff for any significant period. We've got Cindy on part-time. So our income and expenses are pretty small, and we didn't have to file the bigger forms. So in the past years, we were filing just the little like postcard version of the nonprofit return. And it's really annoying because I really do want to have a proper paper copy of our return. People like to look at those things when they're reviewing what a nonprofit is doing, and we want to be as transparent as possible. So this time around, we opted for the next step up, which was the 990 EZ, so that we could have a PDF afterwards of everything that we file. And I would hope if people have questions about anything about our, like, what's our ratio of administrative expenses, things like that, we're happy to answer questions. I also found that I had let our GuideStar listing just get way, 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 way horribly out of date. And I'd always intended to get, once we got a PDF 990, to put it up there. So I got to start on updating GuideStar today. We have a little bit more information to add there. And then we will be back and hopefully fully transparent on GuideStar.
Awesome. All right. Today's also our day to get all our printables in for our booth coming up at the ophthalmology meeting in Chicago next week. So I have a proof of the brochure. I don't know if you have one still. Yeah, I've been making edits furiously and kind of trying to decide what I want to do about spacing, but I think I'm at peace with whatever we put out will be fine as a first version.
It will be great.
It's really cute though. I'm happy.
I love it.
On the front. Yeah.
You did a fantastic job laying that all out. And this will be the first time we've had a brochure for the foundation. So much needed. And we're looking forward to getting stacks of these in the hands of doctors. And someone I was talking to today also was like, you let me know when you have them. And I am going to take those around to every doctor within a driving radius of my home because, she just really cared that people learn about this when they're in a place where we might be able to help them. So
yeah,
we're excited.
Yeah, we did apply for grant funding. Yeah, to get literature.
Yeah, we didn't get it. I forgot to tell you. I got
okay.
the email. They said, there were so many good applicants. So that was a bummer, but next time around.
That's
and if
okay.
anybody feels like donating to chip into our cost of these things, the donation button is always there.
Yes.
Because it's not just the cost of printing these. Honestly, it's going to be the mailing costs because that's like a few bucks a pop. I forget. I have it written down somewhere. I mean, we send them out media mail, but we've got the packaging and the shipping and all that. We plan to be sending a lot of these out to doctors. We're hoping, one of the goals at these meetings coming up, both of the academy meetings, is to have doctors sign up for us to send them stacks of brochures for their office.
Yeah. I'd have to say, if I were to have scheduled this on the calendar, I would have probably had to put 2 days aside, but there's just no way. I would have blocked it out. It was all this meal.
Squeezing it in here and there and 25 minutes here and an hour there. Yeah. Story of our lives.
Life with this kind of stuff.
Yeah. So there's the brochure. We've also got a one-pager for doctors. And then banners, right? Have we finalized the banners?
I have some copies. Yeah, I have some drafts to look at in a bit. And I got some stickers too. I went with 500 of the same sticker and then some other fun ones, but I just wanted to get as many as we could for our money.
Great.
Yeah,
can't wait.
Those will be fun.
Yeah.
We have to ration them. We can't take all the fun stickers to the first conference. Anyways, cool. All right.
I think that's enough for today. We need to go get the banner design finalized and everything, or we'll never be ready for this show.
Right. People just have to look at us for them. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see everyone next week, maybe. I don't think we've talked about it.
Oh, next week.
Live from the booth. Live from the setting up part of the booth. Right, because show doesn't start till Saturday. So we'll just be.
Right, but we'll be there. 12:30, it's Central Time, Chicago, 2:30 will be I don't even know what time we land.
Don't know either.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
We'll figure it
out. Okay.